Despite overwhelming evidence that gun restrictions do not prevent violent crime, the Biden administration is calling for bans on rifles that don't exist for civilian use. Lying leftists out there call rifles like the AR-15 assault weapons, but they're not. Joining me now, two folks who are pushing for real change for their fellow citizens, who hope to serve those citizens. New York Senate candidate Joe Pinion, along with Texas congressional candidate Irene Jackson. Hello to you both. Joe, you first. After I heard the age of the mass killer in Illinois, I knew he'd either have a history with law enforcement, he'd have signaled his intent, or he'd have a troubled home life, or some combination of those. Before he was even caught, left-wing extremists were out there calling for gun control, which, by the way, was in place in Illinois. Red flag law and a ban on civilian rifles. Don't the facts prove that Democrats don't want to solve problems? They just want to steal our rights.
Well, let's be clear. Democrats are fully intent on passing laws. They have no intent on actually passing new plans they know don't work. And so 4th of July used to be a time where we gave thanks as a grateful nation for the most successful experiment in the history of democracy. Now it's a commemoration of the lawlessness that has been injected into the drinking water of our republic because of people like Chuck Schumer and people on the far left who do not recognize that their first obligation is to keep the people of this country safe. And that has absolutely positively nothing to do with taking away the Second Amendment rights of legal, responsible gun owners.
Amen to that. Your Second Amendment right, folks, did not lead to violence. Irene, I want to talk with you. You and I are Texans, and I got to tell you, I was angry. How did you feel when Senator Cornyn from our great state of Texas put Texas taxpayers on the hook to provide financial incentives in that law to blue states to pass red flag laws that have been shown to be ineffective? What was your reaction?
Well, this is a complete disregard for our Constitution. And for somebody that has been in office as long as he has, he should know better. I was at the Texas Republican Convention when he was announced, and we could hear the booing in the upstairs. People in Texas are not for gun control. And I actually shook hands with him and asked him why he wasn't doing more for the Border Patrol at one event. And he responded to me very aggressively that I must not be paying attention. And I responded to him, I'm definitely paying attention. That's why I'm asking you this. So he should know better.
Wow, a liberty-loving Latino right there, folks. Joe, back to you. We learned today that a hardworking Manhattan bodega worker named Jose Alba was attacked by a violent thug. Alba defended himself, fatally stabbing the criminal, but then Alba gets arrested, sent to Rikers Island, initially on a $250,000 bail. Then, Joe, GoFundMe deletes his legal defense page. Comment, if you will, on New York's pro-criminal prosecutors charging a man for defending himself. Then also comment on the woke GoFundMe, which apparently doesn't support Americans' right of self-defense.
I mean, I don't know where to start here because it is quite clear that New York and many states have become a place where the needs of the criminal have been elevated over the safety and security of the common man. You look at somebody acting in self-defense to defend themselves against somebody who in all reality had no business being on the streets in the first place. And it all comes back to the three most dangerous words ever uttered in modern politics: defund the police. This unhinged, reckless policy that emanates in many ways from right here in New York, while people like Chuck Schumer put their head in the sand, allow black bodies to be used as cannon fodder to fuel their political renaissance, all while they turn police officers into the scapegoats. And the regular people, you and I, Chris, we pay the ultimate price. People across this nation, they're paying the price. We're going to prove them wrong come Election Day because the American people know when they've been had.
Amen. Irene, I interviewed a county judge in Hidalgo County yesterday. He's a Democrat. He said Joe Biden and his team ignoring his pleas for help for his county, and it's being decimated now by Joe Biden's illegal immigration push. He also said, though, the Republicans hadn't reached out to him either. As Biden only has 24% support among Latinos, shouldn't the Republican Party get its head out of its rear end and actually start reaching out to these Latino communities that have been abandoned by Joe Biden and his party?
Absolutely. You know, we just saw it a couple of weeks ago when they flipped Texas 34. And what happened in Texas 34? They had a great candidate a Border Patrol wife. I'm a Border Patrol wife. But what happened was that the Republican Party invested a lot of money and resources into that district, and it was flipped. This is a wake-up call to the Republican Party that if you have a deep blue district, but especially with the politics right now, if you invest the manpower, the time, and the resources, it can be flipped. And this is what I tell my fellow Republicans all the time. El Paso has been voting Democrat for decades, but I'm not going to put it all on them. Where have the Republicans been?
Amen. Amen. Joe Pinion and Irene Jackson, guys, great discussion. Come back soon.